Given all of these failures, and given her failure tonight in question period and debate this week, and her failures in Nova Scotia, does she think she is going to make it past December, given most of her predecessors have averaged a tenure less than the asylum claim processing time? Thank you.
Sure.
Man, oh man, was that hard to watch. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the committee hearing that happened Monday night in the House of Commons. And I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with today's video, as I'm going to be playing majority of the questions from the Conservatives. There was multiple members questioning the Liberal immigration minister as well as the environmental minister, but we're just going to be focusing on the immigration portion. And all I got to say is buckle up, because as I mentioned, this was hard to watch. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Minister of Immigration understand her job?
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have a mandate letter from the Prime Minister, and he has made it quite clear as to what the expectations are.
The honourable member.
Does the minister believe that non-permanent residents should be deported if they are charged and convicted with a criminal offence?
The honourable minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. These are security matters and security issues, and of course, that's public safety, and CBSA takes control of that.
Honourable member.
Immigration question. She decides who comes into Canada. Does she believe that non-permanent residents who have been convicted of a criminal offence should be deported? Yes or no?
Honourable minister.
So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We have a robust criminal justice system, and there are rules in place. Again, people that are charged and with effect or charged.
The honourable member.
What color is my shirt?
The honourable minister.
Well, I mean, you would probably know more than me the color of your shirt. You're wearing it.
Chair. The honourable member.
Of answering a simple question.
Now, you may have picked up on why I started off by saying this video was hard to watch, because of the way these Liberals refuse to answer straightforward questions. Even something as simple as what color is my shirt, she couldn't do. And this happens over and over again, regardless of what Conservative questions her, what the question is. She just obfuscates the answer over and over again. And it's very frustrating. These people should be held accountable, and they should be responsible to answer honestly and truthfully, whether it's through the chair or just with Parliament itself. They should not be able to get away with not answering questions as important as some of the ones that are coming up.
Thank you, Chair. There's no question that the Liberal government's failed policies have destroyed the student visa system. The previous minister was supposedly going to clamp down on fraud among student visa holders. How many migrants are currently in Canada with fraudulent student visas?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. You know, when you talk about international students, I tell you, in my own province of Nova Scotia for the last over a decade, they come to the province and they really do enrich the lives.
Honourable member.
Thank you, Chair. How many students are currently in Canada with a fraudulent student visa?
Well, minister.
So, Mr. Chair, we are taking vital steps, and we've already done that, to ensure that students are supported and that we protect.
The honourable member.
What is the number of students in Canada with fraudulent student visas?
The honourable minister.
So we have tightened, Mr. Chair, we have tightened the visa integrity measures. We have worked with instituted financial requirement.
The honourable member.
What is the number?
Honourable minister.
What I can say to you, Mr. Chair, is that in 2024, we have approved.
The honourable member.
The minister has no idea how many students are in this country with fraudulent student visas, and that is the direct responsibility of her department. The minister's foreign student visa system is a mess. How many fake college acceptance letters were caught in 2024?
Well, minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What I would say is in 2024, IRCC approved 292,431 new study permits. That is 41% less than what had been approved in 2023.
The honourable member.
Mr. Chair, the IRCC flagged over 10,000 foreign student acceptance letters as fraudulent in 2024. Why did the oversight of the Minister's Department fail so badly when these letters were issued?
Honourable Minister.
So, Mr. Chair, thank you. We have instituted stronger integrity to prevent any student fraud, particularly when students were taken advantage of from fraudulent partners that...
The Honourable Member.
Can the Minister give one example of a policy she has implemented to prevent 10,000 fraudulent foreign student acceptance letters?
Well, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, of course, we've implemented an enhanced letter of acceptance verification system to protect these students from fraud.
The Honourable Member.
Did the 10,000 people who were granted a fraudulent acceptance letter last year come to Canada?
Mr. Chair, students that were granted letters fraudulently did not come to Canada.
Honourable Member.
The Minister is confirming on the record that none of the 10,000 flagged fraudulent student acceptance letters came to Canada last year.
Now, I should let her finish, but we all know that she's actually not going to answer the question. But what she just said there was a lie, because just yesterday, almost 24 hours ago, the CBC put out this video about this exact topic he's asking her about.
This woman thought she was coming to Quebec on a scholarship to earn a degree, but only after she arrived in Chicoutimi for school did she realize she was scammed.
I'm living like with the fear that, at any time I can get deported. This is not a life, but this is a nightmare. This is not a dream. My dream turned to a nightmare. This is not a dream anymore.
It's been nearly 2 years since Aminata flew from Benin, West Africa to Canada. She had an acceptance letter to a Quebec university in hand. In 2022, she connected with a consultant who she says positioned himself as someone who could help process her documents, apply to university, and apply for immigration applications on her behalf. That was a lie. She was never accepted to university, she did not have a scholarship, and her immigration papers were fraudulent and based off a falsified acceptance letter. She was scammed out of $7,000.
I was feeling like this is not true.
CBC is using a pseudonym to protect her identity because due to her falsified immigration papers, she is in Canada illegally. Aminata is speaking out with the hope the authorities can better support people who find themselves in a similar situation and hold scammers responsible.
Because I know that there is a lot of immigrants that are here in Canada and they are in the same situation as me, but they don't want to talk because they are fear to get deported. This is not their fault.
Aminata was not the only victim of this scam. We spoke with another woman, Fatim, who says the same man who positioned himself as a consultant took her money after she hired him to apply to universities on her behalf. After producing fake paperwork that gained her access into Canada, she says he disappeared. CBC News is also using a pseudonym to protect her identity because of the same concerns over her immigration status.
J'ai été très dépressive. Je me sens comme emprisonnée.
Her father sent the consultant thousands of dollars to help with the university application process. Fatim says she tried to keep the truth from him after her schooling fell through.
Il se sentait responsable du fait qu'il a mis sa fille dans le pétrin lui-même sans le savoir.
When her father found out what happened, Fatim says his health took a turn for the worse. He died December 2024, and Fatim couldn't get back home because if she left Canada, she might not be allowed back in. She says she now wants to build a life for herself here and also prove to Immigration Canada that this was truly not her fault. In 2023, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada said its investigations uncovered nearly 1,550 study permit applications linked to fraudulent letters of acceptance. These applications were intended for designated accredited learning institutions, essentially a school approved to host international students. L'Université du Québec à Chicoutimi says 44 cases of fake admissions letters were identified by the Registrar's Office between June and December 2023. UQAC says they took the necessary precautions to advise the authorities when students arrived with a Quebec acceptance certificate and study permit that was issued based on a fake document. In the past few years, admissions letters containing irregular elements have been detected in several files, but overall, these situations remain marginal, according to Quebec's Ministry of Immigration, Francisation, and Integration. To act as an official immigration consultant, you must be recognized as such by the ministry. You can find a list of registered consultants on this site. The name of the consultant both women used is not on that list. Richard Kurland, immigration lawyer and policy analyst based in Vancouver, says the way things are, victims of immigration fraud often have little recourse.
This is a scam business. In addition to India, Africa is a favorite target. And people in Africa are less familiar with the Canadian University college systems, and especially the documentation that flows from our Canadian colleges.
CBC News contacted the man that Fatim and Aminata say scammed them. In a brief phone call, he denied allegations that he promoted himself as a facilitator for Canadian universities. He also denied having taken any money. CBC has not been able to reach him for follow-up questions or an interview. The phone number has since been deactivated.
Now, first of all, why is the CBC hiding the identity of this guy? If he is doing this and scamming people, shouldn't they be informing the public of who he actually is and letting people know so that they don't have this same problem in the future? And secondly, why are they hiding the identity of these women? I understand it's a shit situation, but if they followed the normal process of getting into the country or applying for a visa or a student visa, then this wouldn't have been a problem. They decided to make the mistake of going through some consultant that they found either online or whatever and got scammed. If one of them's been here since 2022, she clearly has bypassed her visa because she never really had one. They're here illegally. They should be deported. Plain and simple. But now we have this little gray area where it's like, oh, well, something bad happened to them, so we're just going to let them stay here, even though legally they're not allowed to stay here. And this is what they're asking the immigration minister to clarify. Who's staying? Who's going? Do you even know the numbers? And this lady just cannot answer anything.
Chair, I have an article here from CBC wherein the Minister of Immigration asked the federal government to fully eliminate the cap on new immigrants, no limit. Does she still believe that there should be no limits on how many people enter Canada?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you for taking my first question today and estimates from that member. So I've been the minister for a total of about 3 weeks already, and I don't recall saying statements like that. Thank you.
Well, again, I have the CBC article right here. She asked for a full removal of caps on immigrants. Would she agree that the amount of people coming into Canada must be immediately and massively reduced? Massively reduced.
The Honourable Minister.
Now, I'm going to start off by saying I do like Michelle Rempel-Garner. She's a great MP and I like her style. But this is definitely a half-truth, half-lie situation because I found the article that she's referencing, and this is back from 2015, October 26th of 2015, as the Trudeau government just began. And this was when she was still the provincial immigration minister in Nova Scotia, not the federal. She wasn't part of the federal government at all yet. But the article does state this. What she said is true, saying Nova Scotia to ask Ottawa to axe immigration cap. Immigration Minister Lina Diab says that the province keeps reaching its cap every year. Provincial Immigration Minister Lina Diab plans to ask the new federal government to remove restrictions that cap the number of immigrants the province can take in provincial programs. I will ask for it to be eliminated, not just raised. In the last 2 years, the province has pushed Ottawa to raise the number of people it can accept under the provincial nominee program. In 2014, the province maxed out its nominees at the cap of 700. In 2015, the province negotiated with the federal government to raise the cap to 1,350. However, it is still reaching its capacity. For that reason, Diab says she will push to have the cap removed. I don't see why we need to have it in Nova Scotia. I want flexibility and we want more control over our own program, more than what we've had in this province. Now, I'm going to show you a chart that this guy, Thomas Storing, he's done great work with the amount of data that he's compiled on this website, which is novascotia.ca, finance statistics. Look at the population boom right around 2015. This is insane. Now, it's stating that since last year, there's been about 49 less people in the population as of 2025's numbers. But look at this curve. And this is just in Nova Scotia alone. This guy has broken down a lot in terms of how many immigrants have been accepted, how many have left, how many have come in. He's broken it down into even just other provinces as well. Like, this guy did a lot of great work year over year, population change. He breaks down Canada as a whole and all the different provinces. But just this number alone, and if you're looking at the time frame of 2015, Trudeau's government, Lena Diab as the immigration minister of Nova Scotia, this graph is not good. And if this is what she did in Nova Scotia, yeah, you can bet your dollar this is probably going to happen here for the whole country, because now she's the federal immigration minister.
So, Mr. Chair, again, we are managing our targets. We have committed to reduce both our permanent residents and our temporary allocations. We have at 2025, 27 levels.
Well, member.
But she hasn't. The government is letting in hundreds of thousands of foreign students, temporary foreign workers. Why is she persisting in letting in hundreds of thousands of people when Canada is in the middle of a healthcare crisis?
Minister.
Speaker, we are working towards sustainable immigration by reducing our temporary resident numbers as well as our permanent residents. We have tabled the 2-year levels plan, and it is there for the
Member.
But that's baloney. All the statistics show that they've actually increased those numbers. And meanwhile, Canadians can't get into an emergency room. Why are they persisting in bringing in hundreds of thousands of students and temporary foreign workers on temporary visas when people can't find jobs?
Minister.
Be completely, let's use the facts here. Her numbers are totally inaccurate. There's been 290,000 net new arrivals into Canada through the international student program. I don't know where she comes up with numbers. I would contextualize the numbers that she seems to read.
That's it for you, Mr. Chair. The reality is that there were way less than 290,000 housing starts last year, and there's a lot more than 290,000 people waiting for family doctors right now. Why is she persisting in raising immigration levels when people can't find a doctor or a job?
Yeah, well, Minister.
So, Mr. Chair, again, I would say we are working on sustainable immigration. We have committed to reduce the temporary numbers as well as our permanent residency numbers. Canada.
The honourable member.
What's not sustainable is that there's 500,000 people, roughly 500,000 people, as of December, who need to be removed from the country. How many have been removed?
The honourable minister.
Again, Mr. Chair, I say to you, those numbers are taken way out of context.
The honourable member.
I would ask her to say that to somebody who can't find housing in Toronto right now. There are 500,000 people, at least, in Canada who have no legal reason to be here. How many have been removed since this report came out in December?
Minister.
So, Mr. Chair, we recognize there are challenges in our housing and infrastructure. That is why we have tabled the levels plan that works on sustainable immigration. We are reducing our permanent residency number.
Let's talk about challenges. Our ERs are overflowing. People can't find homes or jobs. And the levels report has immigration going up. How many people have been removed of the 500,000 that are on deportation orders that were announced in December?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, to be clear, when people's visa expire, they are expected to leave the country. That is a question for CBSA and the Minister of Public.
Honourable Member.
Not leaving the country. That's the problem. They're not leaving. And she won't tell us how many have been removed. What's the plan to get them to leave?
The Minister.
So, Mr. Chair, again, to you, through you to the member, we have rules in this country and we expect people to follow those rules.
That's right.
Member.
Being followed. Does she not understand that if we do not remove people who do not have a legal right to be here, that the system is meaningless? Will she admit that the system, they broke it and it's out of control?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, CBSA is in charge of removals. I would suggest that she should be asking the Public Safety Minister the questions on that. Again, I say to you, we have rules.
So her defense is that we have rules in this country and she expects people to follow them, which, yes, I would say that that sounds like a sound argument. But if you know that there's an excess amount of people here that should not be here, and you're not actually doing anything to enforce that they leave, why would you assume that they're going to go? And on top of that, why would you then continue accepting new people if you haven't even made sure that the previous people that shouldn't be here anymore are gone? We just saw from that CBC clip, people from 2022 are still here who aren't legally allowed to be here, don't have a visa. So how can we know that they're actually going to leave on their own accord if you guys aren't even doing anything to enforce it? Now, there was a small little break. Another conservative was asking questions, but now it comes back to Michelle Rempel-Garner, who kind of goes down the same line of questioning. And just take a listen to this.
There are 500,000 people as of December that should have been removed from Canada. How many were removed?
The Honourable Minister.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You need to contextualize the numbers when we present them in this House. There's facts.
You still have time, Minister. You have a few seconds.
But it's not your time.
You wanted to finish?
Mr. Chair, appreciate that. CBSA and Public Safety Minister, he was here, I believe, Thursday, and he's in charge answering those questions.
How many of the 500,000 people that are not supposed to be in Canada have been removed? Just the number.
Minister.
So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Again, people whose visas expires or who are here that should not be here need to leave. If they do not, that is a CBSA.
Remember.
But here's the thing. The minister cannot set levels if she doesn't know how many people have left. So it is her job. So I need to know how many people of that 500,000 has left. How about this? Does she even know? Does she have any clue?
Minister.
So, again, Mr. Chair, my role here tonight is not to talk about people leaving and people that are here that have visas expired and so on in terms of how many have left. That is completely a CBSA function and the public safety takes care of it.
The Honourable Member.
Canadians literally pay her $100,000 top-up and give her a car to know these numbers. How many of the 500,000 people that were supposed to leave in December actually left? This is pretty simple. Like, how many? Does she know?
I'm a minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And again, I've answered that question a number of times. I will try one more time. People leaving because of visas expiry or deportation or anything of that matter is the purview of Canada Border Services Agency, which is not...
The Honourable Member.
But Chair, her purview is to set the levels plan. So if she's setting levels with hundreds of thousands of foreign students and low-skilled labor, and she doesn't know how many low-skilled labor and foreign students who aren't supposed to be in the country have left, how can she set levels if she doesn't know that number?
Minister.
So thank you, Mr. Chair. That gives me again the opportunity to talk about our immigration levels plan, which does set permanent resident numbers. For the first time this past year, temporary numbers have been set. I am proud of the work that was done prior to me becoming a minister, and it is working.
The honourable member.
If the government doesn't remove people from Canada, why do we have an immigration minister to begin with?
Minister.
Well, thank you for that question. I need to thank the Prime Minister for having faith, in selecting me to be that minister. But I would say the answer is known as to why you would need somebody at that helm, because we.
The honourable member.
Does the minister at least agree that the 500,000 people who are here who shouldn't be in December, that as of December, should leave immediately? Can she say that? Can she say, yes, I agree?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So my message to the member and to those listening, people who have expired visas and are not to be in Canada should leave. If they do
Honourable member.
Okay. What is her plan to get those people to leave?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We work with CBSA, or CBSA is there to take control of those circumstances.
Member.
How many more people is she going to let in the country while those people stay here?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Again, we have set the targets for permanent residents. We have set the target for temporary residents, which would include the international students.
The honourable member.
So tonight we've heard the minister not know how many people have left the country. She has claimed that the processing time for asylum claims, while people with potentially fraudulent asylum claims claim social benefits, is 18 months, when her department said it was 44 months in committee just a few short months ago. She won't answer basic questions about the file. She doesn't take responsibility for these jobs. After being an immigration minister in different jurisdictions for over a decade, she knows the job. She's just not doing it. And here's the thing. When the minister doesn't respond to how many people that she doesn't know if they leave, and whether or not there should be an immigration minister because people, they're not removed, that devalues Canadian citizenship. It makes a mockery of the process. There are so many immigrants in Canada. She's right. Immigrants have built this country, and it's not the fault of people wanting to come to Canada for starting this mess. But what she's done here is admitted that this system is out of control, and that the Liberal government has completely debased our immigration system and the value of following the rules to come to this country, like so many other immigrants have done before.
And Michelle's right. We need to start setting our standards again, our following rules and regulations, and just allowing the best possible people in. It's not to say that we don't want immigrants anymore, but the numbers currently are unsustainable. And even if we do decrease it by half, it's still unsustainable. There has to be a bit of a lull period where we might not allow anybody in. But just like I mentioned in the last video, it also has a problem when we're bringing in people who are not willing to assimilate, who are not willing to take on the Canadian culture, and they still want to be living as if they're living back home here. But I'm going to end today's video, which I know has gotten kind of long. I do appreciate if you've made it this far, with another video from a gentleman who's an immigrant himself, talking about this exact topic. So if you guys have any thoughts on this, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one.
Canada is losing its culture really fast, and this is coming from an immigrant. A lot of people are not going to like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. As an immigrant myself, I say this with a lot of respect. Your job is to support the country, not change it. You left your home country for a certain reason. Now you're abroad into a different country. Your job is to adapt within the system. Your job is to speak the language. Your job is to understand the system, not overriding it with your own personal value or your own personal belief. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because that there's a video circulating in Quebec regarding international students protesting in universities stating that the French-speaking class must change. They must be taught in English. Do you understand how stupid that is? You chose to go to Quebec. You chose to go to a place where the majority of the people there, they speak French. So why are you there trying to change the rules? And that's just the tip of the iceberg among so many other things that is currently happening in this country. Now you have people that are complaining, stating that in order for them to get a job, they must speak Punjab or Chinese or Taiwanese or something, where this country national language is French and English.